My name is Kerry Hardie, and I'm here courtesy of the Waterford Writers' Weekend, who very bravely decided to mount a live festival. Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, you can see that the auditorium is empty, but we're going ahead anyway. I'm here because I've been asked to read from what will be my 8th collection. It's called Where Now Begins, and it's published by Bloodaxe on the 12th of November. That's my bit of self-promotion in. But basically, I'm very disappointed for the staff who've made this happen, who've worked so hard to make this happen. This is a fairly dark book for fairly dark times, so it was written before any of this, though the world was going darker, I think. The first poem I'm going to read is about realizing age. It's about the ancestors. It's called Bolt the Shutter. The title comes from a poem of Yeats about why should old men not be mad. Bolt the shutter. The face that looks from the mirror has the long bone jaw of my forebears. How age gives them access. They gaze, their eyes black with apprehension. Where shall we go, they are saying, when the hearth of your flesh grows cold? Bare hills look out in answer, and the clean, empty skies of the morning. The next poem is about a memory of my mother-in-law. She had Alzheimer's, and she was on holiday with us in Galway, and she was at the stage where everything was beginning to fall apart. And I didn't dream of her, but she must have been in the dream, because it starts with me waking up. Shopping. For no reason at all, I woke thinking about your mother, that last holiday in Galway, when she was going off and we were growing afraid. It was the shop I was remembering, the evening we went to buy ice cream. She wanted 5 family blocks, though she didn't like ice cream and neither did I, and the holiday house had no freezer. 1 block was more than enough, I said. 5 of us in the house, she said. So, one at a time, he brought out the blocks and then started wrapping them, hiding his doubt, block after block in yesterday's paper, while sea light poured in through the window and lay across postcards and blackening bananas. And she kept insisting, and I kept saying no, till I gave up, gave in, and started to laugh. And she's laughing too, and he's laughing with us, and filling my arms with ice cream, and we stumble out of the door and into the street smells, the seagulls, the salt air, fish frying, the evening. And I woke today, smiling all down the years, my arms full of melting vanilla. This one is quite simple. It's about aging. It's called Time Passing. I want to experience again the state where you're eaten alive by your own fierce lust for the world. But that's memory now, and instead, the pigeons are blundering about, playing flirt and chase in the ash, while the jackdaws drop sticks on the roof of the room where we waken from sleep, to a kingdom of water and light, where the missel thrush, hopping the grass, stabs for worms and the songs he will fling from the poplars up there in the wind. And often the words that I need lie about in the piles of old rags on the cluttered floor of my mind. Yet still the sweetness is here. This one's called Civil War Aftermath, and I don't really think it needs an explanation. When they are together now, they bend to choose the small, flat, slaty stones from the damp sand and place them on their tongues and on their mouths, then lick the stones and suck them so they gleam with blood and salt, then spit them on the wind. This is the salve they give one to another. I had a friend who was a child in the Second World War in France, and she lived here. She's dead now, but her sister lived in France. And when her sister died, I was trying to write her a letter of condolence, and it was January. And it's called The Inadequacy of Letters of Condolence, and that says it. The paper white, the ink black, your sister dead in France, this morning dull with January sloth, a blackbird in the ruins of the dead perennials, tossing the sodden leaves, hunting the worm in the ground, the thorn hedge empty and thin, the sheep moving about in the beet field, the undramatic January light. Your wartime childhood, your sister in your wartime childhood, the passionate, lost children of our long dead childhoods. The whiteness of paper, the blackness of ink, the link in the chain that's wrenched open, your link falling loose. The blackbird rooting as I write this letter, the sheep in the ravaged beet field that smells now of fish and decay. And the last poem, no, it's not the last poem, it's the second last poem I'd like to read is called Daylilies. And daylilies, in case you don't know, are literally what they are. They have a long stem and they have this spike of flowers, and each flower lasts for a day and then dies, and the one below it blooms. So it's a sort of metaphor for the way we have to live, and it's for my friend Peter, who's a fellow gardener and who actually did bring me a bag of daylily roots. Daylilies for Peter. Yes, I would like a spade-sliced lump heaved into a polythene bag. They should do all right being fairly resilient. Just leave them at the front door if I'm out. So much I've been given and planted in the wrong soil or at the wrong time. It takes me so long to grasp the essentials, to understand leaking bags left by a neighbour, messing my plans around, muddying the step, filling the garden with all the wrong colours, disordered, unruly and joyous. And the last poem is really for my husband. It's called Real Estate, estate in the sense of the way we live our lives. For 30 years we have walked around inside each other's lives. We pay bills, hang out the wash, comfort children who wake. Sometimes we bury our dead. This is the room we inhabit, fragile as glass, the light passing through.